Hello everyone, this is Lynx-Tetsu and this is my next video for the Armored Core for Dummies series. Today we're going to be going over how you can change the controls from the default game to hopefully play better for you, because we all know it doesn't have great controls, and because a lot of people are using emulator, you can basically make a pseudo analog control. So just to tell you what the answers are, I would recommend the D-pad for the actual movement, because side to side has infinite acceleration. So just going from the left D-pad to the right to move left and right will immediately make you a lot more agile than using the analog stick. So basically, just to get everything set up here, D-pad up, you're going to do up on D-pad, D-pad down, you're going to do down on D-pad. This is to move forward and back. To move left and right, you're going to do left on D-pad for L1, right on D-pad for R1. Now for the analog, L2 looks up, so you'll do up on the right analog. R2 is down, so down for the right analog. This is looking left and right, so left on analog, right on analog. And then just to actually move properly now, because you can't use the actual face buttons, this will mess the menuing up a bit, but you'll get used to it. Cross is boost, so the left trigger is what most people use, because this is how the later games also do it. Square, which is shoot, is R1. Circle, which is your blade or opening a door interaction, will be L1, and triangle will be the right trigger for changing weapons. Start is start, select is select. That's all you have to set up for this. Now if we just, the binding should already be set, we'll save. Gonna minimize this now. You wanna go away game. Oh, I need to get rid of this one. Okay, so as you can see now, let me just jump straight into well, let's just jump straight into one of the missions. I have a file loaded up from the mission select. Something I should have done was actually make sure I have a left arm blade just to show it. This might be the bomb dispenser run. Yes, it is. So, let's just throw on left arm blade. Don't even have a right arm weapon, doesn't matter, I have the bomb dispensers for that. Let's just throw on the first mission. Okay, so as you can see at the top right, it should be. Okay, so I can see the top right showing my actual controls now. So okay, so now everything, as you can see, movement is perfectly normal on D-pad. The right analog aims. So now you have just the actual regular controls you'd normally want. The R1 shoots, R2 changes between the different weapons, L1 opens the stuff, and now with this, you have basically analog control or proper movement without having to use the weird settings you get when the game is default. Now, because obviously not everyone's emulating the game, we're going to go with what is my other option. So just going for the controller, let me just quickly reset the keybinds to where they're supposed to be. Up, just doing the D-pad and everything else. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I don't know why I'm doing this. I can just show in the menu. See, now everything's fixed for my actual inputs. Actually, you can't see I'm not in a mission. So, I usually use the actual default controls. But just to show what you can do, sorry, this is not system. So if you go into system, there is actually a key binding here. So what some people do is that they will do the key binding on their own, so that this is still the same, but then they will change the looking to the face buttons, and then have the backs the same way that I actually mentioned prior. So this now, the D-pad still works the same, but since there's no analog, the face buttons are how you aim. This also won't mess the actual menuing up, because your controller is bound how it's really supposed to be bound. Okay, so now the D-pad still has got just the actual regular movements that you would expect, the actual strafing, the attacks are the same buttons, but though you're actually using the face buttons to turn. So X is now turning left, and you can still turn and move fine. While it's a bit awkward at the start, this is still for most people a lot better than having to actually use the controls that it's there. Honestly, this doesn't necessarily make it play better. The analog is still entirely on or entirely off for when you're actually aiming. So at that point, it's still not going to determine the speed for the actual fine motion, so certain people will still have an issue with it. But hopefully this will help anyone who's having an issue with the actual controls in the game. Some people don't know that there's key bindings you can change. But overall, if those don't work for you, hopefully one of these two will. Thank you.